Well, it's no secret that obviously both George Santos and Donald Trump, probably the two people in the country with the highest profiles, who had the worst week ever. And Kevin McCarthy, the Republican Speaker of the House of Representatives, proudly announced this week that, by God, he is sticking by his men. He is not going to throw George Santos under the bus and request that he resign. Absolutely not. And of course, when he was pressed about Donald Trump's verdict on Tuesday, he simply said, I don't know, I've been in meetings. For 2 solid weeks? Like you didn't know any other trial was happening? Or were you just in meetings while the verdict came out? Because not hearing the verdict itself doesn't change everything you heard in the trial that's been going on for 2 solid weeks. But okay, I mean, sure, you want to deflect. But it's the George Santos thing that really pissed me off. Because in standing by George Santos, it's not only showing that, yes, McCarthy is terrified of losing a Republican member of Congress and will stand by him no matter what, but it's the fact that he lied about the Santos saga. Let me read you this. He was asked by a reporter, are you going to continue to stand by George Santos now that he's been indicted on federal charges? And do you stand by President Trump after a jury found him liable for sexual abuse? McCarthy responded by saying, I'm not going to avoid your question, but as you know, I've been at the White House. I haven't seen the indictment. But as you know, with George Santos, I did not put him on any committees. Bullshit. Yeah, you did. George Santos was, in fact, on both the House Small Business Committee and the Science, Space, and Technology Committees until January 31st of this year, when he submitted a request to you, Kevin McCarthy, to accept his temporary recusal from those committees after the investigations into his conduct were launched. Kevin McCarthy lied to this reporter's face, which is not shocking. He's a Republican. They lie. Lied to this reporter's face, said, I didn't put him on any committees. You're the Speaker of the House. That actually is your job. You oversee it and you approve it. And Santos was on those committees until January 31st when he submitted the letter to you to recuse him temporarily while he was under investigation. You friggin' liar. That's what pisses me off. For the record, it also pisses me off that the reporter either didn't know it or knew it and didn't push back on it. Because I remember vividly when George Santos requested to be removed from those committees because of the investigation. Fairly certain we did at least one segment on it. But these reporters got to get better. You cannot just sit there and let these idiots, these a-holes, lie to your faces. And if that means you've got to do a little bit more research, maybe up your game a little bit to stay on top of the issue so that you know when somebody's lying to you, then that's what you've got to do. You know what I do all day? I read the news. That's it. That is what I do all day. Yes, I take breaks to get coffee, to pick up my kids from school, to make dinner, to chat with my wife. And in between all of that, every second I've got, I am back on an electronic, combing through the news and reading stories. Most of them stories I don't even cover. But it's to increase my knowledge of all the issues. And I do that 7 days a week, even if I'm on vacation. And I don't hate it. I still lead a very wonderful, productive life. But y'all reporters that are actually able to get in the faces of these members of Congress, you have to do that too. And if you're not willing to do it, then that ain't the job for you. Because Kevin McCarthy lied to your face about something that was an easily verifiably false thing. And nobody pushed back on him for it. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.